Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another wonderful half hour from the Grand Boulevard Coalition Drug-Free Community. Again, my name is William Penn. I am the president of GBC, Grand Boulevard Coalition, and today we have a wonderful guest who's coming to talk to us about Illinois Youth Survey, and she was supposed to be our guest from last week, but you got a couple dozen roses and said Valentine's is more important than your show, William. So we're going to get her out here in a second. I would like to start, as always, by thanking our coalition partners, Center of Horizon, Institute of Positive Living, the 35th Precinct Law Enforcement, Alderman Pat Dow, Lakita Johnson, our parent advocate, Illinois Tech, Greater Harvest Church, the Bronzeville Community Clubhouse, Dearborn Homes, Recovery 2000, Black Wall Street Journal, and Lurie's Children's Hospital. And before we bring our guests out today for our wonderful show, let me get some housekeeping out the way. I would like to first say thank you to Ann and Lurie Children's Hospital for the wonderful I Got This campaign, which was a citywide campaign, and it was teaching youth that they can say no when it comes to alcohol and peer pressure. I also would like to make sure everybody know that you can follow us on Twitter at GBC Coalition. That's at GBC Coalition for our Twitter, and Grand Boulevard Coalition for our Facebook. Okay. And she's here.
Hello.
Hi. Pat, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy you got to come. We had a caller that was excited because he thought you was going to be here last week, and he had a question for you. So hopefully, you'll call back because I don't know. Check my marker. Okay. They're telling me to get in location, so I'm good. Sorry about that, everybody. Now you can see me. I'm on the TV. I'm so sorry. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, the agency that you're with, what the wonderful work that you guys doing, and we get right into these questions.
Okay. My name is Patricia Sykes, and hello, and thank you for having me here. And to the caller from last week, I do apologize. Valentine's Day did not creep up on me. However, my husband's plans did. Anyway,
That's a good man.
Good man. Yay. I'm from Haymarket Center, and I am a prevention specialist, a substance abuse prevention specialist, and part of my job is to go into the communities and the schools, high schools and middle schools preferably, and educate our youth about the possible dangers of substance use, misuse, and abuse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we come from Haymarket Center, and it's a wonderful, wonderful treatment center for substance abuse and addictions. We have clients from all over the city who, for whatever reason, have fallen into those addiction traps, and they come there for help. From our wonderful counselors, we have men and women treatment centers, we have a detox program, recovery homes, everything that we could possibly do to help them overcome their addictions. And we have specialty programs, of which I am a part of, with the substance abuse programming.
Okay.
Our mission at Haymarket is to aid people with substance use disorders in their recovery by providing comprehensive behavioral health solutions. So that's our specialty, and we have wonderful, wonderful people on staff to help people with that.
Great.
Yeah.
That sounds good. And you already knocked out my first question, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to the second question.
Okay.
So I've been knowing you now for a year, and I know we worked together a little bit in this field in getting things done. And there is something that a lot of people don't know about, which is called the Illinois Youth Survey.
Okay.
And I know you're a leader, you're leading the charge here, at least in the Bronzeville Oakenwall, in that community, Hyde Park community, and getting the word out about that and getting schools to sign up. Why don't you give us a little background on Illinois Youth Survey and why is this important to our community?
The Illinois Youth Survey, it is very, very important for our communities. Like Mr. Penn alluded to, we've been doing this work specifically with Haymarket for 4 years now. The Illinois Youth Survey is a process by which we go to schools and we educate them on what the survey is and try to get them involved, recruit them more or less to take it so that we can gather facts when it comes to substance abuse with our students, with our young people, evaluate their mental, their physical health status so that we can get as accurate a number as we possibly can to find out, if students are using substances, find out the students who aren't, find out what their mental and physical health status may be, so that once we gather that, we can see what are the agencies in the community that could help the school with those particular issues if they happen to have them.
Okay, so now, last year, it's every other year, so the big next go-around is 2020.
Yes.
So right now, this year, what are you guys doing to prepare for the 2020 survey?
We have on our staff right now, there are two other prevention specialists, and we have with us also 3 interns from Adler University. And what we do is we call, we email, we send out letters, and we go by the schools and try to talk to the principals, the assistant principals, and the counselors about the survey and highly encourage them to take part in it, get their students to take the survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when a student takes the survey, I know I was a part of one of them, giving it out.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes the parents might be concerned, or maybe the student might be concerned, an 8th grader or a high school kid, saying, well, I don't want to take the survey because now you're going to know I do drugs.
Right.
So will you know do they put their names on there or their social security number? Or,
No.
Is it anonymous? Or, I mean, I had to explain that, so maybe you can say a little bit on that.
Yes.
So
It's completely anonymous, completely anonymous. We don't have the youth put their names on the surveys. The only thing that we do, like I said, they do not put their names, and there are 2 ways that the surveys are administered. One is online. The school will get a username and their own password, and the students could go in and they could take the survey online. And the other is by paper. They will send us the surveys and we take them to the school. We basically watch the students do it. We don't encourage them. We try to do as little as we possibly can to sway their opinions. After which, to make sure, another step to make sure that it's anonymous, they see us take the surveys, we put them in an envelope, we seal them, and we take them from there and we mail them off.
okay. It's all done. The results are back. How do school benefit from the results?
The schools benefit greatly because they can get an accurate number, a clear picture of what the students may be involved in, find out their strengths, and also find out their things that they may not be so strong in. And at that point, they can assess it, and we come in with resources and say, hey, if this is something that you might be struggling with, something you may need help with, this is an agency that may be able to help you.
Okay.
If, for example, if substance use or abuse is something of concern by way of the results, then they could also contact us at Haymarket Center.
Okay. So Pat, since you've been doing it and you've been seeing the results, and overall, could you give us some of the breakdown? Do a lot of youth using drugs and alcohol and opioids in the school these days? I mean, I'm sorry, let me walk it back a little bit. So, everything is done. The individual schools get their results.
Right.
Now, do you go to that school when they get the results and explain it to them, or do they already kind of know what they're getting? Is that, something that you guys do?
It's a mixture of both. We go in and we help them out, and a lot of the schools they already know. Now, just for accuracy's sake, over the period of time that we've done it, and like you said, we've done like 2 rounds of the IYS. The first time we've done it, we only had 1 school to participate.
Okay.
And that was an alternative school, so therefore their information was important and vital. However, the Illinois Youth Survey tends to target the public schools, Chicago public schools.
Okay.
And this year we had more numbers participate. So at this moment, we are checking the schools and seeing if they've gone in to check their results, and then asking them how can we go in to assist them
Okay.
in deciphering the information that they received back.
So back to my other question. Now, I think I can ask it a little better. Do you, Haymarket see the results?
No, Haymarket does not see the results.
Okay.
The schools, again, they have their own username, their own password, and they see the results.
Okay. So that's what. Okay. So you don't even know. So a school will have to call you and say, "Hey, we got our results. We found this is
Yes.
what we found, and so we'll need your
Yes.
assistance and stuff like that."
Yes.
So, before I ask you the next question, I just want everybody to know, in case you want to get in on the conversation and give us a quick call, we're at 312-738-1060. Again, 312-738-1060. Thank you. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, you get a phone call. How do you guys immobilize? Would be one question. And then how do our coalition, and we partner with the Chicago Recovery Community Coalition, which is the one on the far west side here.
Okay.
So we have partnerships, and our theme, we have 3 themes that we run through each show, which is obviously most is a drug-free community, most youth, our slogan, most youth don't use, and that coalition building and partnerships can help spread us out more,
Yes.
so where we can help more.
Yes.
So the question, I guess, to you is, the first one would be, my school I call you and I say, "Oh my God, look at this! I think we might be having a problem, or how do we offset the problem? How do you guys mobilize like a ambulance, and you guys get there and handle it?"
Well, we go to the school and see that you have a caller.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
First time on TV. Yes, we do have a caller. Do you want to get your thought out there, or do we go to the caller?
Well, if I can get my thought out quickly.
Get your thought out. The caller's
Okay,
Hold on,
so-
caller. Be right with you.
So when the school calls us, we go out and we have a meeting and we decipher all of the facts that's been given by way of the survey.
Okay.
And we research to see which centers, which agency could best help them. And then we connect people so that we could make it happen to get their students the best help that they can in that particular area.
Good. Good. Well, let's see. Caller, are you there?
Yes, and good evening, and thank you for taking the call.
Thank you, sir.
Number
Good
one,
afternoon. Pleasure to hear from you
I
again.
love Haymarket. I think Haymarket is one of the best around. Let me just say this. Maybe 25 years ago, a little longer, it was a thought in meetings that where would be a good way to go into schools and get it information, and we never was able to figure that out. Number one, the law, and it was stopping. And then when Haymarket has this, you part of Haymarket where you're able to go in, and especially the public schools, because that's political. And anytime you deal with the political, the city and everything else, it could be, heartbreaking. But if you really had to sit up and think, you're never going to get 100% honesty out of it. But, have you ever thought about going through the juvenile courts and get a linkage with them That way, you are entitled to go in and speak to people. We know that y'all do lobby down in Springfield, so it should be maybe a little money allocated to help kids if the children don't have no insurance under their parents, because they can't pay for it. So again, you got to figure a way to get to them and get the honesty. Going into school, taking a survey, you're never going to get 50%. But again, if you could get a few, you did your job. But again, we need to dig deeper. We need to just keep on researching. Like I said, I thought about that. I ran a detox. Maybe you might remember Doctor's Hospital. We had a linkage agreement with y'all guys where we used to help people, come to different places and send there and send back. But again, it's a deeper research, and it got to be really a good lobbyist to get in there and see, can we dig in between the city? Because like I say, anytime the politicians are in anything, there's too many bridges you got to go under, too many doors to try to open, and until then, we're going to lose a lot of people. I don't want to hog the show up.
No, you're doing.
He always have a good show.
Thank you.
But we got to figure how to get a little bit deeper into getting our kids, because that's where it's at right now, is the kids. The kids that's in school, and they are our future. So if we could nip something in the bud, then we don't have to worry about it. That's why I'm so much against legalizing playtime marijuana.
Yes.
That's all the thing I'm calling it. How can you just be able to go out and do that?
Thank you.
But that's my opinion. Thanks for taking the call.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. Hang up and listen to your answer. So I'm gonna answer. He asked a lot. Well, he asked really one main thing.
Yeah.
So not with the Illinois View Survey, but with the services you guys got, do you guys have a way to get to the kids that are in the system that he was talking about? I think the court system. I forgot the actual name of the system. Is that maybe address that separate from Illinois Youth Survey? I know that's cut and dry. You can't really play with that at all. So,
unfortunately, we don't. There was a time where Haymarket did have access to the youth who were in the system, and with youth prevention, substance abuse prevention, there was only so much that we could do. And to your end, I completely agree with you. I solely believe that the children, the youth, are very, very important. And the good thing about even this conversation being here with Mr. Penn, I'm associated with the Grand Boulevard Coalition and the other agencies that he mentioned earlier. And we provide a network. We're a batch of allies that work together. And when there's a need, we can pull on one another. And dare I say, this is something that's not going to be cured immediately. This is something that working with the people in the community and figuring out exactly what our youth need, what their needs are, knowing that with the survey that only takes place twice a year, that you may get 50% accuracy when it comes to them being completely truthful. We can depend on one another to help each other in that area, to provide some kind of method by which they can feel totally free to give those truthful responses. And it's all in community, all in working together to make the best for our youth in the community. Thank you so much for that.
yes, thank you, caller. Well, before I get to my next question, I think we have another caller. Caller, are you on the air?
No, I'm the same. I'm the same fellow. Let me give you another little helpful hint. Hit every police station, make pamphlets, and you leave them in the police stations, and get in contact with the juvenile officers. That's where you're going to get your help. The ones that pick them up off the street where they could have a chance. You got to link with them. They was a great big help with us. So again, like I say, go that route. Check out the police department. Make a lot of flyers. Pay the newspaper stands, stick flyers in. Go and put them in the grocery stores. in the currency exchanges, drop them off in the churches.
Right.
That's how you're going to get those kids. Again, let me get out there, seem like I'm hogging up the show again.
Man, you're hogging on my show. I'm gonna have to get you come down here and you can talk for the time. But we're gonna get you on the air with me. But no, you're not hogging up the air. You give great things. She's actually took down some notes, and believe me, she will put them to use. And we appreciate your calling back to give us that. We have a few minutes left, and one thing I always ask everybody, because as you know, we met via my opioid summits that I put on at Illinois Tech, which we'll have our next one coming up at the end of March or the first couple of weeks of April. Stay tuned for that. The question is, give us your thoughts about the nation opioid crisis.
The opioid crisis, it is one that kind of crept up on us, dare I say, because we know it first starts with use for pain relief, and I'm thinking of the session that I'm actually going to do with my youth next week, and it breaks everything down. And it sends the message to the body, oh, I feel good right now. It's a relief from pain. So it'll feel good when it's not associated with pain in a recreational sense. So that has caused the opioid epidemic to grow. We're actually working with, I believe it's the Center for Prevention and Research Development with their opioid campaign. We take pluggers and posters throughout the communities that we work in. Right now we service 7 communities, and they are Grand Boulevard, Oakland, Washington Park, Fuller, Douglas Park, Hyde Park, and Kenwood. And we take the flyers all into the communities and all the areas that our caller just mentioned to make sure that the word is spread about the epidemic.
That is great. Yeah. And we noticed you guys will be also participating in the opioid summit.
Yes.
One thing that I've been known for, outside of my funky scarves that I don't have on today, I give my guests the opportunity to have a minute to speak their mind about something that might be on their mind or something they want to be passionate about and get out there so people know. So now you're on the spot. It is your time to shine.
For a few minutes, I'll just briefly talk about something that Mr. Penn and I talked about. We have community meetings about how we're going to network and make things happen for our youth. And we know that stats come out, and we tend to focus on the amount of youth that are taking part in substance use, abuse, and misuse. And oftentimes, I'm not going to say a lot, we overlook those students who aren't taking part in those things.
Oh,
so, thanks to Mr. Penn who brought that to my attention. At some point, somewhere along the way even, I would like to see what we can do for those students as well, and that is a passion of mine.
Well, let me know. I definitely would want to be a part of that.
Thank you.
I would definitely want to be a part of that. Okay, I think we have about a minute to go, so I'm going to go and let everybody know one more time. Twitter, at GB Coalition. That's GBC Coalition or GB Coalition. And there we go. Okay, they're giving me the sign. We got about another minute. So, is there did I miss anything? Anything out there? Oh, you know what? I want to go back to the Illinois Youth Survey. Mm-hmm. So you went 4 years ago, you only had one school, and it was alternative high school. 2 years later, obviously things get better, so you got 6, 7 schools.
Yes.
What can we do out here to get our schools involved? I'm on the local school council at my school, so I would definitely be bringing it up at our March meeting about making sure my school sign up, because I know my particular grade school that I'm part of unfortunately did not sign up, but I want to make sure they do sign up. What else can parents, teacher, faculty who are out here watching today, that gentleman who called in, can get on their school to let them know our public schools should take a part of this?
Exactly. Talk to your school administrators, the principal, whomever in the school you have a good connection with, who can pass along the word, the importance of taking part in the Illinois Youth Survey. Parents, you can also speak with your local politicians, the aldermen. We need as many people as we can to get to those schools to tell them exactly how important it is for the students to take the survey, to find out what's really going on, and also to dismiss some stereotypes that there may be about our youth using.
Right on time. Our time is up. Thank you for another wonderful week. I appreciate everybody who watched the show. Don't forget to rebroadcast at cantv.org. And God willing, we will be back next week with a very special guest. Good night.
Good night.